Hi everyone, it's Lisa with InkandInspirations.com. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, we're going to be making a note card with this cute little chick here from the Hey Chick stamp set. This is one of the Sale-A-Bration choices that you get with each $50 in product purchase through March 31st from Stampin' Up. So there is a Sale-A-Bration brochure. You can view this online. And find all of your different choices, but this is one of the cutest sets in that brochure. So we're going to start with a Whisper White note card, which comes 20 cards to a pack with 20 envelopes, a piece of So Saffron cardstock. This one's cut at 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. A piece of the Cupcakes and Caramels Designer Series paper stack, cut at 3 by 4 1/2. And then I have some shimmery white cardstock and Bermuda Bay cardstock cut with our layering ovals framelits to fit the size of the chick like that. Okay, and we're going to be stamping on this. And the shimmery white is going to lend itself just perfectly to watercoloring with our new watercolor pencils. And we also are going to need a 1/2 inch strip of Whisper White scrap. We're going to stamp the sentiment on there and use that on the front of our card. So let's go ahead and start building up the front layers here. We're just going to add it with some adhesive. I think I'm just going to use my liquid glue and apply that to the front of the card. Just like this. And then we'll get the designer paper, which is cut 1/4 inch smaller. And this stack of paper is really pretty. It's one of my favorites in the catalog. It has a vintagey feel, kind of worn looking images, and beautiful colors. Okay, there we go. And so let's set that aside. But let's go ahead and do this. I have a piece, about 4 1/2 inch piece of the burlap ribbon, and I'm going to take some fast fuse and apply it to the back there. You can also use not sticky strip or tear and tape, but this is quicker for me, so I'm just going to do that and adhere it down toward the right side of the card front. Okay? So now, let's go ahead and stamp our chick. I'm going to ink it up in basic black archival ink since we're going to be watercoloring. And the shimmery white cardstock has a little sparkle to it. And I'm just going to center that over that oval and stamp. And while we have our ink out, I'm going to stamp this Hey Chick sentiment. I'm going to ink that up in black as well and just stamp that on that little strip. And then I'm just going to simply cut that straight across there and here, trim it down, and then we'll set that aside to use in a minute. Alright, so now I've stamped this. I've given it a little time to dry. And we're going to use the new watercolor pencils from Stampin' Up. They are done in our colors and they are beautiful. Be sure and watch my tip video on how to store them. This is an easy way to store them. Okay, so I have Bermuda Bay, and I'm going to use Daffodil Delight and Pumpkin Pie and a little bit of Early Espresso. So let's close that. I'm going to be doing the watercoloring with the blender pen, and I want to do this little chick really funky and cute, so I'm just putting down some color on her top-notch feathers here, and then a little on her tail feathers to match our designer paper. Then I'm going to take some of the Daffodil Delight and color some, put down color on her here. And after I use my blender pen, if I want to add more color, I can always reapply. I'm going to give her little beak a little orange And then her feet here, a little early espresso, just like that. And then I can take my blender pen, scribble off to make sure it's clear, and then just look how smooth that color's blending. You don't see any of the strokes, the pencil strokes anymore. And I'm just pulling that color down. Now let me go over here while I'm working on Bermuda Bay. And the shimmery white does very well with the watercolor. You could even use aqua painters a bit on this. Not a whole lot of water. Okay, I'm doing the Daffodil Delight now. But anyway, you can do it on our thick Whisper White. You could even do Whisper White with blender pens. And then the shimmery white cardstock, and then of course our watercolor paper works beautifully too. Okay, but I love this shimmery white. Okay, so now let's do the feet. Okay, and maybe a little bit more yellow around here, these little accent feathers. And then I'll just blend it in. Notice that I scribble off my blender pen before I move on to a different color. And there she is, super cute. And then I think I'm going to take a little bit of basic gray and just color a little bit down here so we can make her grounded a little bit. Just give a little shadowing around there to simulate the ground. Okay, now to make her really special, I'm going to use my Wink of Stella clear brush and just give her a little bit of sparkle all over to go with the, kind of goes with the shimmery white cardstock and really makes her stand out. Wink of Stella just adds a pretty touch to any project you're doing. Okay, so now all we have to do is mount her here. And so I'm just going to use a little bit of snail adhesive. Again, when you use the archival black ink, you want to give it time to dry before you start coloring. Okay? Alright, and then let's put her here on with some Stampin' Dimensionals, maybe. Let's try that. And apply her to the front like this. And then I have one of the wooden embellishments from the Sending Love embellishment set. I thought if this was going to a friend, it'd be super cute. So I tied some linen thread around this open heart, and I put a mini glue dot right there, and I kind of, so we just apply the heart right here, and then we're going to take our little sentiment that we stamped earlier, applied a little adhesive and put that in the upper left. And then for a special added touch, look, you can stamp a partial chick on the inside, color it, put the sentiment, have a happy day, and then decorate your envelope as well. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, let me know. Be sure you visit my website at inkandinspirations.com for more ideas, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.